and 50 respondents have not shown up. The orders were directed to the first and third respondents, as well as the second respondent. Third respondent has not in any way attempted to comply with those directions. They are not in court. They have not explained to the court where the subject is. Having heard counsel for respective parties and satisfied that these court orders are not in vain and they should not in any way be in vain, I direct as follows. Number one, the Inspector General of Police or his most senior representative and the Director of Criminal Investigations or his most senior representative do appear before this court on 20th of November 2023 at 10 a.m. and show cause why Osman Khalif Abdi, the subject and second petitioner, should not be released from captivity in compliance with the court's directions issued earlier. Number two, Safaricom PLC is here directed to supply to the first petitioner and all of her legal team and to this court car tracking records for motor vehicle KCT 163H from 10th November 2023 to date within 24 hours from the date of this order. Number three, Charity Center Shopping Mall or the owners of the mall are hereby directed to supply to the first petitioner or her legal team and to the court CCTV footage for November 10th covering the events surrounding the abduction and the movement of the vehicle of the petitioner as well as the motor vehicle KBH 543A. And that should be done within 24 hours from the date of his order. Further orders and directions will be issued on 20th November this year at 10 a.m. as earlier directed. Those are the orders of the court. Thank you.
Hello. What is it? Sorry. Oh, hello.
Thank you, members of the press. We are the legal team that is representing Osman Khalif. Osman Khalif was abducted by persons who we believe to be police officers on Friday last week, on the 10th of November, while coming out of the Sarit Center shopping mall together with his wife. We did file a case for habeas corpus, and the court on the 15th granted our application in terms of the writ of habeas corpus, which directed the Inspector General of the Police to produce the said Osman Khalif before this court or any other court on this day. Today we have been in court and Mr. Khalif has not been produced, and so therefore the court has found that the orders that it had given have not been complied with. It has ordered and summoned the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigations to appear in court, in open court, on Monday the 20th of November at 10 a.m. to explain their whereabouts of Mr. Osman Khalif, who was abducted on 10th of November. We deem this a very significant decision and action by the court, because we have seen a sudden increase in abduction of persons, and we believe that the court has done the right thing by speaking very rightly and loudly and saying that if any person is to be denied their liberty, they must be denied their liberty as by law provided. So the case is still ongoing. As of now, the information we have is that they say our client, Mr. Osman Khalif, is still missing. We hope that he is alive, and we urge the Inspector General of Police and also all right-thinking Kenyans to condemn, first, the Inspector General of Police to comply with the orders and ensure that Mr. Osman Khalif is produced in court as ordered by the court. And also we call on Kenyans to condemn this culture of enforced disappearance. You will remember that the Law Society has been at the forefront of calling for action and an end to enforced disappearance, because it makes all of us unsafe. And we are seeing that the government, again, despite disbanding the squad at DCI that was said to have been responsible for extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearance, we have seen the return of the said squads that have perpetrated not just the disappearance of Osman, but also the disappearance of other people whose reports are in the public domain. But for purposes of this case, I represent Mr. Osman together with my colleagues, Mr. Duncan Okach and Mr. Oringe Waswa, and we hope that one, he will be produced alive, and two, that the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigation will comply with the summons that the court has given and appear in court on the 20th of November to explain what, or the whereabouts, or the reason why Mr. Osman Khalif had been detained. So we thank you, and that is, unless you have any question, that is the end of our statement.
Those who arrested Mr. Osman, does the family have any clue as to why he was being arrested? Was he being investigated when criminal culpability? Is he involved in any form of corruption? Why? What was the motive of his arrest or abduction, for that matter?
Maybe if I may answer that question with the permission of the President. The Director of Public Prosecutions was represented in court today, and he has said in no uncertain terms that they have no file on our client. They have not instructed any investigations whatsoever on our client. And so the question that begs, even if there is something being investigated, which we do not know, the court is saying there is due process. Arrest someone, not kidnap. The police know very well that they have the power to arrest or to summon, but not to kidnap. Kidnapping is a thing of the past. So at this particular point, the question that we are asking is, where is our client? In fact, the rest we can deal with. But the only tools that us as advocates we are availed with is to represent our clients in court. But we cannot represent a client who has not even been presented in court. The police cannot be the investigators. They are seemingly the complainants, and they are seemingly already meting out a punishment on our client without due process. So at this point, the thing that you should take home is one thing. The court has summoned the IG himself in person. and the Director of Criminal Prosecutions in person to appear physically on that 20th day of November 2023. And we are happy that the court, through these orders, show them the seriousness of these particular actions. And we are saying, and that's why the President of the Law Society is very keen on this case. It is something that can happen to any other person, and the government has been at the forefront of complaining about such rogue officers that give the government a bad name. So even if, and we hope that they will abide by those orders, if they do not, there are many other ways us as advocates we can take up, and Kenyans in general, to ensure that these particular actions, which are contrary to the Constitution, people actually become answerable to them. I think that answers your question.